So, Mike, we have a show planned like normal, but just this morning, some news has come out that we have to talk about real quick.
It's probably not going to be really quick, knowing us.
That's the truth. We might not get to our planned show.
It's the thing is, last week I mentioned that I had a show planned, and that show is coming out this week. But had I known that this revelation was going to be coming out, I would have waited and done the show that I had planned last week and done last week's show this week, because it kind of ties together.
Right.
Now it's going to be all william-nilliam, and we're going to be all over the place.
So it goes. Such is the price they're paying with current events.
Yeah, that's what happens. But when the Pentagon drops a bomb and says that they may have off-world vehicles that have been recovered, you got to talk about it.
Okay, so when I saw this news, I was running around like a chicken with its head cut off all day. I didn't even get to text you or talk to you about this. I knew we were recording tonight. So I literally just read the headline, and that's all. I purposely didn't read any articles because I wanted to get your input and then make my own decisions on this. But of course, we instantly have some things to debate, which we'll probably do. But
like a mini bait?
Yeah, well,
little mini bation.
Oh, my camera's off, so.
Well, maybe you should turn it back on.
Debate.
It'll be for the patrons. They'll get the video feed of the mini bation session, but got to join Patreon to see the hot mini bation.
But just from the shit that I've seen, help me get this straight. Let's mill through this. The Pentagon has said through recovered crashes that these vehicles that they have been seeing, the Tic Tac video, these UFOs, these whatever that new name they gave them, the aerial phenomenon, UAP,
yeah,
that these are in fact vehicles, crafts, and they are not from this planet. They literally said this.
That's basically what I gathered, yes.
Okay, so with that being said, for me, just off that headline, my brain told me that they just admitted that the things that they're seeing, these UFOs, there's a lot of these things. The Tic Tac video wasn't the first sighting of that type of UFO craft. There's other videos that look like that.
Yeah.
So right after that, they admit that these things are actually there. They're not theirs. They don't know whose they are. They're doing things that people can't do in crafts that people make, and that's why they're announcing it. Now they're saying, Buck, it's so weird to say. Now they're saying that these craft, they've actually recovered crashed ones, and they are not from this planet, which means that these are being piloted by aliens. In a lesser or fewer words, this is a major confirmation that they're, extraterrestrials. There's no other way to put this.
So the thing is, I want special attention to be paid to the way that it's being phrased. The way that they're saying it, they're saying that they've got items retrieved from off-world vehicles not made on this earth. That's what the Department of Defense officials said. That's a quote from them. But they're not saying they're aliens from outer space. So keep that in mind. Off-world vehicles not made on this earth.
Okay.
But they're not saying outer space aliens. So I don't know why this play on words is even being done. It's.
I was going to ask you, do you think that this is just a play on words, or do you think this is them beating around the fucking bush with wording like they always do?
I think they're definitely beating around the bush, but look at the interdimensional nature of the phenomenon, or seemingly interdimensional, or however you want to phrase it. They have properties that seem to go beyond what we know as being physical solid objects. They a lot of times they behave in a way that something solid and physical would not be able to do, with the maneuvering and all that. So what if this is a way of them saying that it's not of this world, it wasn't made on Earth, and it's an off-world vehicle? And what if that means that it's from like another reality or another universe, not an outer space alien.
You know, paying attention to the wording, like you're saying, that is very interesting. It almost makes you think like it's like a something that they've found on the moon that they're trying to let us know about now. It's interesting that they're not saying crafts from extraterrestrials. I mean, I don't know what they could say or how they. I don't expect them to say, you know, flying saucers with little green men are now a real thing. You know, they're not going to come out and say that. But that is very interesting. They could just say, they could literally just show us a fucking jumbled up pieces of a lunar landing craft that was fucking that was built while they were on the moon. You know, it could be anything if they want to be that you know, assholeish with it and fucking around with this. But I don't know. Just even still with the headline, where is an otherworldly craft or vehicle, otherworldly vehicle, off-world vehicle, gonna come from that's not built on this earth? What else? I mean, I think they're saying as much as they can without just saying it.
Yeah, and the guy that said that had that quote, he's a guy named Eric Davis, and he's an astrophysicist who is a subcontractor and a consultant for the Pentagon. But he reported to the New York Times that back in March he had a briefing with the Defense Department where he told them about these vehicles, that he's the one that again said that they were off-world vehicles not made of this earth. But he said that he examined some of the materials from these vehicles and concluded that this is not something that we could make ourselves, we being the United States.
Right, and that's something to keep in mind when we're saying we or this article, or they're referring to us, or it's the United States, not the world. So we could still be dealing with. I don't know. I don't think they'd use that terminology if it's something that is simple as. I think they'd say possible spy plane crashed or something like that.
Yeah,
they've put stuff like that in the press before. I don't think why they would have a problem with doing so now.
Yeah, and another weird thing. So that that Tic Tac video, how I don't know, it's so hard to gauge time now, but I think it was like a couple months ago when the military confirmed that the footage of the Tic Tac was real and declassified it.
Yes.
There was a Freedom of Information Act to get more information on this from the Navy, and the Navy refused the Freedom of Information Act, stating that if they released any more information, it would cause exceptionally grave damage to the national security of the United States.
Now, see, for me, that kind of counters everything that they're doing. Why are they releasing all this shit if, when asked questions about it, they're just going to, I mean, are they allowed to even fucking do that? Just refuse information requested through the Freedom
The other thing is that when the footage initially came out of the Tic Tac and that article came out in what 2014, I think. Or 2007. I can't like I said, my COVID's got my brain all fucked up with time. But whenever they released, I think it was 2017 actually. Whenever they released that all that information about Harry Reid and the secret UAP program doing research, when that came out, they said that program was no longer in operation. But now they're saying that it is still in operation. They just changed the name and the place that it was based out of, and they're still investigating. And according to the New York Times article, this is going to be something where we're going to be getting regular updates from this project now, where they're going to be making regular public announcements with updates about the ongoing research.
Do you think that's what this is?
What this articles?
This latest announcement is part of that initiative.
It could be. Honestly, I think it's all a cover. I think that this is, like I was talking to my brother about this earlier today, and we're both big UFO nerds, and we've always been talking about the day disclosure comes, and it's been a big topic for us, and we we used to be big Stephen Greer fans back in the day and bought into all of his bullshit. But the what really got me was the interviews with the government and military witnesses and everybody he pulled together. And to me, that was like a huge thing for disclosure. Like, look at all these people coming out and saying all this stuff is real. Like, how can you deny it anymore? Like, we're on the brink of disclosure. We're on the brink of, and then they had the mock congressional hearing about it. And I'm like, oh, we're one step closer. It's coming. It's coming. And now we're getting shit like this. And what I would have been beyond excited for. And again, it's not to say that I think the phenomenon is fake. I don't think that that's the case. I think that you should be wary when the military, which covets its secret, is now coming out to say that aliens are real and we've got this craft. And I really feel like this is setting the stage for something. It's starting to create a climate where the possibility of contact with an alien race is possible. And whether that's true or not, I don't think that has anything to do with this. I think this is all, there's an agenda behind it. And I think we're going to, somewhere in the relatively near future, we're going to be seeing things that we can't explain by any other means other than aliens. But it's not going to be aliens. It's going to be the military or members of our government. And we're going to see some things happen, I think, that are going to be blamed on this. But I think in addition to that, because we're now admitting that these craft are real, I think that creates deniability with spy programs. We can fly unmanned vehicles over, and if we've got this technology that seems beyond anything a foreign enemy might be capable of, then if the vehicle gets shot down, then we can say we have no idea what it is. It's a UFO. Or if they see this thing, hovering over, it's a UFO. That's not one of our military craft. That's a fucking UFO. Look, we've put it out in the press and everything. UFOs are real. And then we don't create an international incident or start wars over being in restricted airspace because now we've got fucking alien spaceships. So no, it's not us. It's the aliens. The aliens are trying to start a war with humanity.
It's kind of weird to think that the current administration in our country is so, let's say, unorthodox, trying to be respectful, not to the cabinet, but to the people who believe in that cabinet. But maybe, what if they're so fucking crazy that they're literally just making "it's not us, it's the aliens" excuse right in front of our fucking face?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. What if next week Trump is going to come out in the fucking Rose Garden and have a press conference and say we've discovered the source of coronavirus and it's goddamn aliens.
Holy shit.
It's an alien virus. It's not from China. That's where the craft landed. That was ground zero because the craft was shot down in China and then it infected all of China and then it got spread out and now it's all over the world because this goddamn alien spacecraft crash landed in China.
Yeah, that's crazy. I was going to actually ask you that. I mean, do you think any of this new alien shit has anything to do with Corona? But I don't think so because if it's
I really don't.
Me
but
neither.
I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to hear DT do it, man. Make that connection. I mean, has he really? He's made some pretty wacky connections. Let's be real. Like some of the things that he comes up with are just out of this fucking world. So is it really too far beyond anything he said already to say that?
Yeah.
That he blames the goddamn aliens?
Yeah.
He's tried to blame everybody else for Corona, so, why not blame the aliens too?
It just seems so weird to me. It's for you to say that they're denying information now. To be able to release that shit, I think it was 2014, then 2017, then Homeboy went on Joe Rogan's podcast, and but for them to release that much stuff and come out with these statements that are so strong, this is a craft that's not one of our test jets. You know, we've talked about it a million times. I don't need to go through it again, but to release all that and then to hear that they're denying information really confuses me. And now my mind turns to them just clouding the water, just to create deniability. I there's definitely an agenda, but if they're going to go with aliens, I think it's got to be bigger. I think it's got to be something bigger than being able to place blame on a couple spy planes. I think it's
I definitely think it's something bigger too. I think that's going to be one of the benefits of putting this story out there.
Now, what's your fear with this? For some reason, my mind makes me think of not the tests of new craft, but maybe some insane weaponry.
New weapons.
Yeah,
exactly. And if you want to test exotic weaponry to see how it's going to affect a populace, what better way than the fucking aliens did it, man? And then you say, well, we recovered their craft, so now we can deconstruct their weapons and we know how to fight them at their own game. And then you create this false battle. Some ships get shot down, some people die, and then fucking Will Smith is hero of the day.
Yeah. I mean, even at a less extreme angle, I mean, just if you see them shoot some test plane out of the sky and it just turns purple and then a green cloud of smoke appears, you can just be tuned to go. That's them testing those, or that's them fucking UFOs. They said those are around, and it's
And that whole blue beam conspiracy has been around for a while as well. And that's the idea that they're going to use holograms and advanced weaponry to stage an alien invasion. According to what the hell's his name? The Behold the Pale Horse. Why can't I think of his fucking name?
God, you know what?
Is it Bill Moore or Bill Cooper?
I distinctly remember us not remembering this gentleman's name before.
I don't know why I always forget his fucking name. Bill Moore. It's Bill Moore. So Bill Moore said in Behold a Pale Horse, he put out this idea that the government, or well, not the government, the New World Order, you know, those wacky people, that they would create a fake alien invasion in order to move people towards their agenda. So then you've got out of that the Project Bluebeam stuff, and then we had that Norway spiral thing that people were tying to like a test for Bluebeam that was later said to have been a Russian missile that went astray, but Russia never admitted to it being one of their missiles. But I think the Norway spiral, I think, is weird, but I don't necessarily think that it's Project Bluebeam, just because it seems like a very weird place to do it. But maybe that's why they would do it there.
Yeah, we talked about that before. It's more strange that they would test something like a rocket in a populated area like that more than it's strange itself. It's something that's believable. I mean, I remember when that happened. It was that one during Halloween that happened, and I was like, holy shit. And you're like, check this video out, and you pulled up the one from China, you pulled up the Norway spiral, and you're like, this is a rocket. But it's so we know what it is, but it's even more strange that they're testing that shit where people can just watch it.
See, the one in China is definitely a rocket. The Norway spiral, I'm not convinced that was a rocket. Because I remember watching videos of people showing rockets like going out of control and doing a spin thing. And that in itself looks weird, but it didn't look like that. And the way that dissolved like from the center outward, that whole thing was just really fucking bizarre.
Right.
But I think that a lot of this, it goes beyond just the United States though. And I think that there's more things involved. And I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing similar things, similar type press releases coming out from other countries as well.
God.
I think this is going to be a worldwide thing. And the other thing, if we start seeing an increase in strange UFO events from this point on, be suspicious of that as well, because while we always have weird UFO sightings that pop up here and there, don't you think it would be a little fishy that once disclosure starts, all of a sudden we start seeing an increase in activity with UFOs? You know what I'm saying? Like after all this time, now is going to be the time that aliens attack us? It doesn't make sense. And sure, it could be framed with like, oh, they just found out we had their craft and now they want it back. Or maybe it becomes bodies that they start recovering from these crafts. So they start alluding to, rather than talking about exotic machinery not from this earth, maybe they're going to start talking about biological material. And instead of saying bodies, they'll say we recovered biological material from these crafts.
Right.
And, you know, and it's going to, the thing is with, after watching that Mirage Man documentary and learning the truth of the Paul Benowitz case, it's really made me distrust any form of disclosure coming from the government. Because if they're going to do that to one person just to cover up one experimental aircraft that he witnessed, then what would they do to an entire populace or even the world to cover up some secret shit?
Yeah, there's some stuff that we're both looking into for our private pleasure, I guess, that's really rattled what I believe that comes from any official government or, how can I say this? Anything like that, really. Even action. So, yeah, I hope this isn't a way to start testing laser cannons. You know, I don't know. I don't know if we're going to see an increase of craft or instances of UFO appearances or anything like that. Do you think that's going to increase now that they've made these announcements? I've asked that of you before, but now that with this heavier announcement, do you think there's...
I think it would be really silly to if this is human hands behind this, then I think it would be really silly to all of a sudden do an increase in this type of stuff. But, you know, I think that it's going to be a slow build to whatever is going on. I think it's going to be a slow build to get there. And I think we're going to be seeing more announcements like this, and each one will reveal a little more, but they're never going to be explicit and state exactly what they're talking about. They'll use terms like exotic materials or craft not made on Earth or otherworldly materials or off-world or biological material. Like, you know, they're going to use really vague terms that doesn't clearly state what's going on. And I think we're going to keep seeing stuff like that. And it's going to be, think of it like a trail of breadcrumbs. They're just giving you little tidbits in hopes that you're going to get that sandwich at the end of the trail. But it's just a trail of tidbits. That's all. There's no sandwich at the end of that trail.
No, I think you're right. I mean, what's going to be the end result of this? If they're saying what they're saying now, without just fucking saying there's aliens, I mean, this is obviously a build-up to something. To say that there's craft that we don't know what the fuck they are, that do things humans can't do or build, and then now there's materials that say that they can prove that they're built off this planet. I mean, what's the end result? What are they going to build up to? And maybe there is no sandwich. I mean, I don't think this is a time where, I mean, is this being orchestrated by aliens themselves at their request so they can just do an unveil just so we're aware of the fact that there's aliens? Is that what all these fucking Avengers movies have been doing?
Maybe. I mean, I like that idea, as scary as it is, more than the government just creating this fucking false narrative to set the stage for a super evil false flag attack that's going to kill a lot of innocent people. I would rather actually be aliens and they're like, haha, we've been indoctrinating you all along. You bought it all, hook, line, and sinker. Mwahaha! We are your masters. And then
I don't even think it'll be that evil, for lack of a better term.
No, if aliens are real and they're behind all this shit, they better have curly mustaches that they're twirling and a fucking top hat, and they better be tying people to train tracks.
Dude, I honestly think that when this shit does break or whatever they're gonna build up to, if this is all orchestrated by the aliens, this is just gonna be an alienation scenario. They're just gonna show up and be like, "Hey, we're just gonna live." It's gonna be like that. It's just gonna be them passing
We're
us
just
by
moving in.
on the street,
Just neighbors.
Yeah. Then when they do release this, they're gonna say they've been here for 4 years. We implemented phasing them into human society for 4 years now. There's, you guys can't get along with each other. We knew you guys would just kill them or corner them and do a whole District 9 thing, but they're here now. There's nothing you can say that the coronavirus was one who didn't get their shots. Some stupid liberal alien that was like, "I'm not taking your vaccines, you son of a bitch," and escaped the compound. But that's all under control now. I think it'll be something that I don't know. I think it'll be, if they're using shit like modern media and shit like the Avengers, they want us conditioned not to accept aliens being here, but if that's what they're using to condition us, it's for us to be used to them being among us in a way.
Yeah, but I don't think that that's what they're going with, because look at all the fucking depictions of aliens in movies. It's always us versus them. They are the aggressors, and we're just defending our territory.
Not with the Captain Marvel shit. There were cool ones that helped us out.
Oh yeah,
shit.
but she was part of the evil ones, and she didn't know it, and they were forcing her against her will. And then she found out that they were evil, and the Skrulls were actually good. And there's still an evil alien race that we've got to fight against, and Earth is in the crosshairs. And that's always the way it's framed. You never get aliens coming to Earth to be cool.
Well, maybe
you'll get Superman, who is an alien who's cool, but he's one of the cool ones, because then when other members of his race come to the planet, they fuck shit up.
Right.
It's just, all right. So they're not all dicks. There's but mostly dicks. It's either that scenario where they're mostly dicks, or the scenario where they're just all dicks and they want to kill everybody.
Isn't that hilarious? Somebody should have asked that. And that's always
the way it's been.
In Superman, they're like, okay, so since the other aliens came, they're the dicks, but aren't they the same type of alien you are? Are you all dicks, or are you the only cool one? What's going on here?
Yeah. Let me know. I would like to know why everybody that else from your planet is a dick and you're not a dick. Are you a secret dick, Superman?
Yeah. Are you a spy dick?
Yeah. Are you just pretending to be cool so that when we put down our defenses, you're just gonna rape our planet? He's like, no, man. I swear I'm cool. I'm against the bad guys. See, I broke that guy's neck who tried to kill that person that was over there. Yeah, that was me, guys. I did that. Superman, you realize that in that fight, thousands of people were. I did that to protect you. I'm a good alien. I'm a good alien. You know what? Fuck it. And then he just fucking heat visions everybody and just kills them all.
Oh no, it would be scary if he was just like, yeah, I'm here to protect you until you do something I politically disagree with.
Yeah. Like the there's a Superman story that follows that thing.
Oh god, dude, it's brutal.
It was a fucking video game.
Yeah, the Injustice.
Yeah. Superman is a fascist ruler.
Oh my god, is that shit brutal? If you guys haven't read that, you've only heard about it, please read it. It's well worth it. Talking about Superman and fucking joking with that. I mean, that's something that I thought about when I was like collecting comic books with my dad or stuff like that. I talked, what's your favorite character? And I remember one time I told him, you probably like Superman. And my dad was like, he's okay, but that dude's a fucking alien. And I was like, oh, I really don't think of him that way. He's like, well, he's an alien. And he would talk about other characters like that. Like, I'd ask him, what do you think about the Hulk? And he's like, well, he's probably the most terrifying fucking person in Marvel. He's a mindless fucking angry monster. They've since changed him in the comic books to make him all smart and cool, full-time Hulk and shit like that. But Maybe they're trying to.
That takes away from the character so much.
Oh, it sure does. But maybe with those Avengers movies and shit like that, they're not trying to get us so used to maybe aliens with those movies, but just used to people who are strange, people who are giant and green, people who can fly, people who are in metal suits flying through the air. Maybe it's a different type of conditioning. Maybe the aliens that are coming aren't fucking tentacled, green, four-eyed monsters. Maybe they're just like metal people.
Metal people?
Yeah, maybe they all look like
So
Nebula.
a race of Iron Mans.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. We are Iron Mans.
They are Iron Mans.
They are Iron Mans. All of them.
We're shitty little people.
So like some sort of like cyborg life thing, or like those weird techno-organic races from the video games and movies.
Yeah. Maybe, what if they're just getting us ready for people that look like they're made of metal flying around saying, we're cool, just go about your day, we're cool. And when one flies by, we're like, oh, cool. It's one of those things. Maybe we're getting ready for an alien police state.
I remember reading a story. It was an alleged sighting in Britain. I can't remember if it was the 60s or 70s when this happened, but this person was in their kitchen, and out in their garden, they saw this weird, like, robot looking thing that just was cruising around the garden. And then it came up to the window, and then it flew away.
That's bizarre.
And it's just like this weird one-off story that this allegedly happened to some lady in England.
Yeah, I mean, when we're talking about aliens, robots aren't unusual. There's plenty of reports of not only just robotic aliens, but aliens that are accompanied by robots.
Mm-hmm. Or Bigfoots that are robots.
Yeah.
Like in the $6 Million Man.
And they wrestle to the death.
They do. Fun fact, that robot Sam Squanch was played by Andre the Giant.
It was.
And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, please look it up. It's so good.
Yeah, you can find it on YouTube quite easily.
Yeah, very easily. Just look up $6 Million Man Bigfoot, and there it is. It's excellent. And if you're old enough to have watched that when it was on TV, then you'll appreciate it even more. I was a little kid when it was on, but I always used to watch that shit.
All right, so we will keep our eyes peeled for more information that will come out about this stuff. But mark my words, 5 years, our kids will be going to school with other teenage aliens, smoking weed, cutting class.
I would love it if our Earth just became like fucking the cantina in Star Wars. Just you go and it's just all these crazy alien races and a werewolf man and just a bunch of crazy shit going on.
Yeah, you can finally make out with like a completely blue chick.
Yeah. Who doesn't love a completely blue chick?
Right?
Especially with fucking head tentacles. Come on.
Those won't hurt. I won't turn those down.
No. Yeah. They won't hurt at all. She can slap you with them though if you get a little fresh, so maybe they can hurt. But maybe she'll tickle you.
Yeah,
as well. Give you some.
They'll hurt so good.
Give you some little tickles, or an extra set of arms while hugging.
Ooh, see?
Ooh.
Who's gonna hate on that when it gets here?
I'm certainly not. Maybe you could get a massage with the tentacles. I bet they can apply a very distinct form of pressure that human hands just can't do. I don't know. I think that head tentacles are pretty convenient, and I bet if I had a girlfriend that had head tentacles, that there's all manner of activities that we could do with said head tentacles.
Vote Mike. He's pro head tentacle.
Yeah, I am. So future aliens, nominate me as future president, and I'm very pro head tentacles. So.
I will kiss your head knobs.
Yes. I will lovingly caress those tentacles. And I don't care if you're blue or green or have face tattoos. It's cool. You're a fucking, what are they called? Twi'leks? You're a Twi'lek. And I love you just the way you are, blue head tentacle lady.
As long as your nipples are in the right place, we're in business.
They don't even need to be in the right place. Maybe you don't have nipples. I don't care.
What if they're like in a row on her back? You're good.
Well, I mean, I'm not a baby, so I don't really need them, you know? It's just for aesthetics at that point. It's like, oh, that's a pretty sweet nipple row you got on your back. I enjoy the alignment. Way to go.
Thank you. Don't touch them.
Yeah, I won't. I'm not a baby Twi'lek. I don't need your back nipples. Star Wars nerds are so pissed at me for talking about back nipples on Twitter. Like, they don't have back nipples. You know what? I know they don't, but for the sake of comedy, they do in this instance. And if it's not funny, then I just wasted it, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I won't talk about back nipples again unless somebody brings it up first.
I brought it up. It was my fault.
Yeah, Blue Mateo. God damn it. It's his fault.
We all know the Twi'leks carry their nipples on their knees.
They don't carry them on their knees. God damn it.
They don't have nipples. They're not
20
mammals.
nerds just had a stroke.
Yeah.
Not mammals. I might even have the wrong race. Somebody somewhere is pissed off at me about my botched Star Wars references. And you know what? You're entitled to be pissed off at me. I get it. But I want that to be my world, damn it. I want it, not the nipples, but the aliens everywhere of different races and a wolf man in the corner. That's the world that I want to live in. That's the future I want my kids to grow up in.
See,
if my son doesn't come home with a werewolf woman from the corner, I will be so upset.
I would be a little uneasy with that. I mean, aliens that
what are you, wolfish now, Mateo?
No, but what if they just show up and they're straight up
the wolf people?
No, but what if they just show up and they're straight up just werewolves, and we're like, okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is that going to threaten your way of life, Mateo?
No, I just think that one day,
you inconsiderate prick.
I just think that at one point in time they're going to say, "You guys look delicious."
Well, maybe we do look delicious. It doesn't mean they're going to eat us.
I think they will.
I mean, I look delicious on a daily basis. I've never been eaten. Oh, except by mosquitoes. Mosquitoes love me.
Yeah.
I'm the most delicious. But that's neither here nor there. Give wolf people a chance. Maybe Dog Man is just a lost wolf people.
Yeah.
It's like, my spaceship crashed and I'm just trying to find a way home. And people are like, oh, fuck, it's a werewolf. He's like, I'm not a werewolf.
Yeah, he listens to podcasts and he realizes how people bash him all the time. So he just started attacking them.
He just gets pissed off. Like, he gets revenge now. He's like, you know what? You want a monster? I'll show you a fucking monster.
Eats a couple campers.
Yeah, eats a couple campers, pounces on a car, shits on someone's roof. It doesn't matter. He's a monster now. And you people created it. He was a sweet, good boy. He just wanted to fucking stake and play fetch and find his ship. And you guys turned him into a monster. You should all be ashamed of yourself.
Yeah, when they come and pick him up, they're going to be like, what fucking happened to you? You've killed stuff? And
yeah.
What did you do to him?
They forced me to do it. They forced me into it. God damn it. The Rover, you sicken me. No son of mine is going to be a meat eater.
Yeah.
Why do we have the sharp teeth then, Dad? We can't help the way we look. We're not monsters, son. We raised you better than that. You don't know what it's like, Dad.
He's all, get.
Yeah. The scolding of Dogman by his dad. So, guys, we said we were going to make this quick. We didn't make this quick at all. And this is we've been, I don't know how long it's going to be after editing, but this is, shut up. God damn it. You're not welcome on this podcast. It's my cat, guys. He's always got to try to get a word in, and it's pissing me off. He's not welcome. If you guys could please tell him he's not welcome, so I can play the messages for him, I would greatly appreciate it. But as I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted. We didn't mean to make this a full show. I had an episode. This is 2 weeks now that I've had this episode lined up, and it's going to be awesome. I don't even want to tell you guys what it is, but
no, save it. It's going to be great. I didn't know we would be able to do the show that we have planned, and I'm stoked that we can and we're going to.
Yeah, it's the subject matter does not go with alien disclosure at all. So I'm kind of glad that this ran long because it would have been a jarring change.
It would have. I think it really would have messed up the night.
So instead you get Star Wars jokes and back nipples. So, hopefully at least 3 of you enjoyed it. If more of you enjoyed it, then I'm even happier. If you feel as though I've wasted your time, then I would like to return that question with another question. What show have you been listening to? Because it's certainly not this one.
Yeah, and if you guys yourselves have back nipples, pics or it didn't happen.
Yeah. I demand pics of the back nipples and extra points for perfect alignment.
And Alex, don't just take pictures of your regular nipples and send them to us and say they're back nipples.
I'm sick of seeing those nipples.
Yeah, we've seen
them.
Sick of. We've seen them enough times. We'll be able to tell.
Yeah, it's not going to get you back on the show.
Thank you for listening to the Whatcast. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, iTunes, and YouTube. Enjoy the podcast. Get yourself a Whatcast t-shirt or a sticker pack. Who was that dude on that one episode? Try the links in Homie's page. All this and more can be found at www.thewhatcasters.com. Thanks again for listening and have a great week.